Okay. It is day 1 of Bud Not Buddy. So I just like to let you know this is one of my favorites read alouds for reading RTI. I like it better than both books we read last 9 weeks. So I think hopefully you guys really like it. In case you haven't already seen, it's a level 5 reading level, so it might be a little bit above some of your ZPDs, but that's good because that means we're going to challenge ourselves. And it's worth Okay. I just got kicked out. Sorry about that. Hopefully it doesn't kick me out again. My bad. Well, it wasn't my bad. This computer's bad. But anyways, where I was heading was it is worth 8 points, but it's going to take us a while to finish it. So probably not till like Thanksgiving time is when we'll be finishing it, I'd expect. Probably about 6 weeks. But it is really good. Um, there are 19 chapters. Um, this is definitely realistic fiction. Can someone unmute themselves? Someone raise their hand and tell me who wants to tell me what realistic fiction is. Molly, you can unmute yourself. Tell me what realistic fiction is.
Something that could happen.
But hasn't necessarily. Okay, so it's realistic, meaning that this could happen in someone's actual, could happen. It's set in the past. Could have happened in someone's actual life, but it hasn't actually happened or didn't actually happen because it is set in the past. So, I've been to look at the back and get some insight on our book real quick. So, the book says it's 1936 in Flint, Michigan. Does anyone know what was happening in 1936-ish, in the 1930s? Anyone know what was happening there? Paisley, you want to try?
Slavery.
No, it was not slavery. It's something else. During the 1930s, the Great Depression was happening, okay? So the market had crashed, and there was basically, yes, Gage, is the Depression. Basically, there was just not a lot of money around, not a lot of jobs. A lot of people were in poverty. There was just whole lots going on in the Great Depression. We'll just talk a little bit about the Great Depression. I pulled something up so we could talk about it. So the Great Depression was a severe worldwide economic depression. And economic is, like the money system and all of that. It took place mostly in the 30s, and it began in the United States, happened across many countries. It was the longest Great Depression of the 20th century, or the longest depression of the 20th century. The stock market fell. Basically, like I said, people just did not have a lot of money. Even rich and poor, it affected unemployment. Like there was just 23% of the nation is unemployed. That's almost a fourth. It just a lot of people didn't have stuff. Okay, we'll talk more about the Great Depression as we go on. So, anyways, and they're in Flint, Michigan. Michigan is right above us, so this is kind of like in the area. It is similar to us. A lot of you might have heard the word Flint before. Does anyone know why currently Flint, Michigan has been in the news? Anyone know anyone here Flint, Michigan recently? No? Okay. Flint, Michigan is having a current water crisis. A lot of their pipes that their town water goes through are lead pipes, and that causes a lot of people to be sick. That has nothing to do with this. This is just coincidentally Flint, Michigan. So, times may be hard, and 10-year-old Bud may be a motherless boy on the run, but Bud's got a few things going for him. So, based on that one sentence, we already know a lot about our main character. First off, what's our main character's name? Zach, who's our main character? Can you say that again? I didn't hear you. All right, I don't know if anyone heard him because it didn't come through on my screen. But anyway, our main character is Bud. He is 10 years old, which means he's about your guys' age. I know some of you are probably 11, but some of you might still be 10. Yes, no? Yeah. Okay, so he's your age, and he's motherless. So that means he doesn't have a mother. And we don't know why he doesn't have a mother. Like, did his mom give him up? Did his mom die? Did his mom, did they get separated? We don't know why he's motherless, and he's on the run. What does on the run? Anyone want to unmute themselves and tell me, give me a little prediction of what you think on the run means? If someone's on the run, a 10-year-old on the run, what do we think that might mean? Isabella H., you want to unmute yourself? Isabella H., I said you. Unmute yourself, Isabella H. Tell me what you think on the run means. Okay, well then start talking if you're unmuted. Okay, Isabella, you have about 1 second to start talking, ma'am. No, you're muted, Isabella. We cannot hear you. Okay, so Landon kind of answered it, maybe running away, maybe, but on the run. So if you're on the run, you probably don't have a set home, probably things like that. So, but he's got some things going for him, okay? And there's 3 things listed. 1, he has his own suitcase full of special things. Okay, he's got himself a suitcase, has special things in it. Good to know. 2, he's the author of Bud Caldwell's Rules and Things for Having a Funner Life and Making a Better Liar Out of Yourself. So that is all italicized because he's the author of this lovely thing. And we're going to hear about that a ton in this book. And 3, his mama never told him who his father was, but she left a clue. Flyers advertising Herman E. Calloway and his famous band, the Dusky Devastators of the Depression. All right? Bud's got an idea that those flyers will lead him to his father. Once he decides to hit the road and find this mystery man, nothing can stop him. Not hunger, not fear, not vampires, not even Herman E. Calloway himself. So far, what we know, Bud. Not Buddy. See, get it? His name's Bud. His name, what's his? I don't know what 2222 means. Let's only type things that have to do with school, please. So, Bud. It's taking place in Flint, Michigan, and it's taking place in the past, around 1936, which is during the Great Depression. Bud has no mom. He's 10, and he's on the run. But he's got a suitcase full of things. He apparently is an author of some rules and things. His mom never said his mom never said who his dad was, but apparently she left clues. We're not on a page, Paisley. We're reading the back. He doesn't know who his dad is. Everyone had a dad of some time, but he doesn't know who his dad is. But he thinks it is Herman E. Calloway because his mom left those clues. And he is apparently set out to find his father. So throughout this book, we're going to see if Bud actually finds his dad or not. Yes, Landon, exactly. He's alone. He's on the run. He's motherless. Doesn't know who his dad is. I want you all to turn to chapter 1. Now, like I said, this is a 5-point reading level, so it's kind of above some of our ZPDs. So we're really going to have to focus. We're really going to have to pay attention. If we have questions, we're going to have to ask. I have not 100% decided on what project we're doing yet because Mrs. Kneifel just cannot make a decision. I thought about doing just story map, but then I was thinking I don't really want to do a story map. Yes, Zach? Yeah, but just not right now. Remind me after this. I don't know if we're just going to do questions like we did for Bud Not Buddy. I just haven't decided. What's the book called? It's literally called Bud Not Buddy. It's on the front cover. Oh, wait, Isaac, you haven't gotten yours yet? Yours, I emailed you and your mom or dad, whose ever email I have on file, and it is at school. It's called Bud Not Buddy. Okay? It's at school waiting for you to be picked up, or you can get it on Amazon. I did email you, and I also emailed your parents. Chapter 1. Okay? Here we go again. We were all standing in line waiting for breakfast when one of the caseworkers came in, taps down the line. Uh-oh. This meant bad news. Either they'd found a foster home for somebody or somebody was about to get paddled. All the kids watched the woman as she moved along the line, her high heel shoes sounding like little firecrackers going off on the wood floor. Her high heel shoes sounding like little firecrackers going off on the wood floor. He just said a what? He just used a figure of speech. Can someone tell me what figure of speech he used? Type it in my chat. What figure of speech did he just use? It is not a metaphor. Yes, Isabella H. It is a simile. He compared high heel shoes to firecrackers using the word like. So it was a simile. Good job. Now I'm chewing banana. Sorry. Shoot. She stopped at me and said, "Are you Buddy Caldwell?" I said, "It's Bud, not Buddy, ma'am." All right. So that's the first time we've already heard it's Bud, not Buddy, which is coincidentally the title. I'm going to let you know. We're going to be hearing that a lot. She put her hand on my shoulder and took me out of the line. Then she pulled Jerry, one of the littler boys, over. "Aren't you Jerry Clark?" He nodded. "Boys, good news. Now that the school year has ended, you have both been accepted into temporary care homes starting this afternoon." Jerry asked the same thing I was thinking. "Together?" She said, "Why no, Jerry. You'll be in a family with 3 little girls." Jerry looked like he just found out they were going to dip in a pot of boiling milk. "And Bud?" She looked at some paper she was holding. "Oh, yes, the Amoses. You'll be with Mr. and Mrs. Amos and their son, who's 12 years old. That makes him just 2 years older than you, doesn't it, Bud?" "Yes, ma'am." She said, "I'm sure you'll both be very happy." Me and Jerry looked at each other. The woman said, Now, boys, no need to talk, no need to look so glum. I know you don't understand what it means, but there's a depression going on all over this country. People can't find jobs, and there are very, very difficult times for everybody. We've been lucky enough to find 2 wonderful families who've opened up their doors for you. I think it's best that we show our new foster families that we're very..." She dragged out the word "very," waiting for us to finish her sentence for her. Jerry said, "Cheerful, helpful, and grateful." I moved my lips and mumbled. Okay, so where is Bud currently living right now? In the first page or two, where is he living? Olive?
Foster home.
Yeah, correct. He's in a foster home. It can also be called like a group home. There's different names for it. But he has no mom and he doesn't know who his dad is. So for some reason, we don't know where his mom is yet. That's besides the point. But he's in a foster home. That's a place where it's like a job for people. They work there, but then a bunch of kids live there because they don't have somewhere to go. But apparently they found a new foster family for him. And apparently a little boy named Jerry. But anyways, he's going to go to a new foster family. Super exciting. Hopefully, I mean, you would think, right? Wouldn't you be excited to get out of a group home and go live with a family? You think that'd be a good thing. But so far, they don't seem too happy about it. And he's going to live with a boy who's 12. She smiled and said, "Unfortunately, you won't have time for breakfast. I'll have a couple pieces of fruit put in a bag. In the meantime, go to the sleep room and strip your beds and gather all of your things." Here we go again. I felt like I was walking in my sleep as I followed Jerry back to the room where all the boys' beds were jam-jammed together. This was the third foster home I was going to, and I'm used to packing up and leaving. But it still surprises me that there are always a few seconds right after they tell you you've got to go when my nose gets all runny and my throat gets all choky and my eyes get all stingy. But the tears coming out doesn't happen to me anymore. I don't know when it first happened, but it seemed like my eyes don't cry no more. Gary sat on his bed. I could tell he was losing his fight not to cry. Tears were popping out of his eyes and sliding down his cheeks. I sat down next to him and said, I know being in the house with 3 girls sounds terrible, Jerry, but it's a lot better than being with a boy who's a couple years older than you. I'm the one who's going to have problems. A older boy is going to want to fight. But those little girls are going to treat you real good. They're going to treat you like some kind of special pet or something. Jerry said, you really think so? I said, I'd trade you in a minute. The worst thing that's going to happen to you is that they're going to make you play house a lot. They'll probably make you be a baby and will hug you and do this kind of junk to you. He tickled Jerry under the chin. Gaga goo goo, baby wavy. Jerry couldn't help but smile. I said, you're going to be great. So even though Bud's only 10, he's kind of like really helping out this little kid who's upset that he's leaving the group home and going to live with 3 sisters. So he's kind of being like a really good friend or kind of like an older brother almost. He's being positive for someone else, which is cool. Jerry looked like he wasn't so scared anymore, so I went over to my bed and started getting ready. Even though it was me who was in a lot of trouble, I couldn't help but feel sorry for Jerry. Not only because he was going to have to live around 3 girls, but also because being 6 is a real rough age to be at. Most folks think you start to be a real adult when you're 15 or 16-year-old, but that's not true. It really starts when you're around 6. In my opinion, 6-year-olds are definitely not adults, so that's so silly. Bud saying, yeah, he's basically an adult. He's 6 years old. I'm sure none of you were adult-like at 6 years old. At 6 years old, you don't even know how to, make a sandwich. At 6 years old, it's at 6 that grown folks don't think you're a cute little kid anymore. They talk to you and expect you to understand everything they mean. And you'd best understand, too, if you aren't looking for some real trouble. Because it's around 6 that grown folks stop giving you little swats and taps and jump clean up to give you the slugs. They'll knock you right down and have you seeing stars in the middle of the day. The first foster home I was at taught me that real quick. 6 is a bad time too, because that's when a real scary thing starts to happen to your body. It's around then that your teeth start coming out loose in your mouth. You wake up one morning and it seems like your tongue is the first one to notice that something strange is going on, because as soon as you get there, it is pushing and rubbing up against one of your front teeth, and it'll be doggone if that tooth isn't the littlest bit wiggly. At first, you think it's kind of funny, but the tubes keep getting looser and looser, and one day, in the middle of pushing the tooth back and forth and squinching your eyes shut, you pull it clean out. It's the scariest thing you could think of, because you lost control of your tongue, and at the same time, no matter how hard you try to stop it, it won't leave the new hole in your mouth alone. It keeps digging around the spot where that tooth used to be. So Buddy's describing the first time he lost a tooth and saying how scary it was. Did any of you think it was scary when you lost your tooth? Most of us didn't think it was scary because your parents warned you, right? Or someone warned you, whether your grandparents, your parents, you knew it was going to happen. When you were like, oh, my tooth is wiggly, someone was like, oh, yeah, it's going to come out soon. But apparently no one told Bud, because he said it was like the scariest thing that ever happened to him. You tell some adult about what's happening, but all they say is it's normal. You can't be too sure, though, because it shakes you up a whole lot more than a grown folks think it does when perfectly good parts of your body commence to loosening up and falling off of you. Unless you're as stupid as a lamppost, you've got to wonder what's coming next. Your arm, your leg, your neck. Every morning when you wake up, it seems a lot of your parts aren't stuck on as good as they used to be. Obviously, unless there's some type of illness, you keep all your body parts except for your teeth, and you only lose your baby teeth. If you take care of your adult teeth, that is. Just for the record. 6 is real tough. That's how old I was when I came to live here in the home. That's how old I was when Mama died. Okay, so we officially know. Why doesn't he have a mom? Type it in my chat. Why doesn't he have a mom? Because she died, and she died when he was 6, and now he's 10. So it's been 4 years since he's been in either a group home or a foster home. So he hasn't lived with his mom, and he's never known his dad. So it was just him and his mom. We're assuming, we haven't heard anything about siblings. And so we don't know what is really gonna, we're sad. Right, that is sad because his mom died. That's why he's been in a foster home or why he's been in a group home. So she died 4 years ago. I folded the blanket and sheets and put them back on the mattress. Then I reached under the bed to get my suitcase. Most of the kids in the home keep their things in a paper or cloth sack, but not me. I have my own suitcase. So his suitcase, we're going to hear a lot about, and it's definitely something that he is proud of because, like he said, most people just keep things in like a sack. Even though he doesn't have a lot, you know, obviously he lives in a foster home, he doesn't have any parents, he has a suitcase, something that's actually his. So we're going to hear about this suitcase lots. Okay. I set it on my mattress and untied the twine that held it together. I did what I do every night before I go to sleep. I checked to make sure everything was there. The way there's more and more kids coming to the home every day, I had to make sure no one had run off with any of my things. First, I pulled my blanket out and saw that everything was where it was supposed to be. At the bottom of my suitcase were flyers. I took the blue flyer out and looked at it again. The paper was starting to wear out for me looking at it so much, but I liked checking to see if there was anything I hadn't noticed before. It was like something was telling me that there was a message for me on the flyer, but I didn't have the decodering to tell me what it was. Across the top of the flyer, writ in big black letters, were the words limited engagement. Then in little letters, it said direct from the SRO engagement in New York City. Anyone know what it means when it says writ? It says writ in big black letters. What does that mean? What does that mean, my friend? Someone type it in my chat. Oh, wait. Oh, no, my chat is all the way at the top. It said, yeah, or it was written. So remember, this is in 1936, and he's only a 10-year-old, and he probably doesn't have that much education if he's been in foster home for the last 4 years. So it was written, yeah. So there's a little bit of slang that we're going to hear in this story. Like he said earlier, he said, won't cry no more. Like we wouldn't say that, like, oh, my eyes won't cry anymore. But he said no more. So there's definitely going to be some slang that we're going to hear throughout the book, and that is totally okay. So I'm going to put a little bookmark right here for now. So we are going to stop. We'll start up with page 7 tomorrow. Like I said, this is going to be a good book. I still haven't decided our project. So everyone, keep your eyes and ears open for whatever our project's going to be. Just haven't decided yet. This will be recorded. And I hope you guys like this book as much as I do. I'm really excited to read it with you guys. So I am going to end our, well, does anyone have any questions about anything before I go? Any questions? If not, you guys can hop off. This will be posted. No homework for reading RTI today because I haven't decided what we're going to do yet. But I will see you guys later. You guys can hop off. Oh, Rainier, what's your question, bub? You can unmute yourself if you want. Oh, my day, it's going pretty good. I actually didn't sleep very good last night. I had a lot of nightmares, so I'm a little bit tired today. But now I'm having a banana, and it's getting better. So thank you for asking. I'll see you guys later.